A Lydia by any other name, a portrait of shadows. Ethan lived in a place where even the whispers were broken. The city was a chorus of decay, and he was its lone discordant note. He was an artist who had lost his sense of touch, his hands moving over the canvas without feeling, his eyes seeing colors that held no warmth. The art galleries were cathedrals of lies, filled with saccharine sweet light and pleasant canvases that made his stomach churn with visceral disgust. He was not searching for inspiration. He was looking for a pain that could make him feel something, anything, again. One cold autumn night, after another failed attempt to grasp life's meaning, he drifted into a restless sleep. He entered a dream where he met a woman of pure shadow. Her face was a changing mystery, a void where her features should have been, but her presence was an overwhelming ache. He felt an inexplicable, cosmic pull toward her, a longing that was more than just desire. It was a debt calling him. The dream became a ritual, and he awoke each morning with an urgency to grab his brush and shape the emptiness he had seen. For weeks he painted as if possessed. He was not creating, he was unearthing. He was trying to give form to the void, and as he did, his reality began to curdle. The voice in his mind, once his own, became a strange, hypnotic cadence. It was a single word, a curse. Lydia. The syllables felt sharp on his tongue, a metallic taste in his mouth. It was not just a name, it was a wound. He would look at the faces of his friends, and they would momentarily twist into masks of anguish, their smiles becoming gruesome, downturned grins. He began to see fragmented reflections of Lydia in puddles of rainwater and cracked window panes. Each reflection was an open crypt, inviting him closer. The need to find this source became an ache he couldn't ignore. He wandered the city, guided by the whispers of her name that now seemed to come from very wind. Lydia. It was a song of ancient sorrow, and he stumbled upon a decrepit mansion on the outskirts. The iron gate groaned, creaking open as if welcoming him home. The air inside was heavy with the scent of damp earth and something else. Something like layers of dust and old ash. The floorboards groaned under the weight of history, and every shadow seemed to hold its breath, waiting for him. The walls were covered with paintings, a gallery of despair that drained all trace of light from the room. They were not just reflections of Lydia's emotions, they were her. Each canvas was a stage in a tragedy, a life lived and ended in sorrow. As he moved through the rooms, the paintings seemed to shift subtly, their colors darkening, their figures changing to mirror the growing obsession in his own mind. The mansion was no longer a mere backdrop. It was a living, breathing entity. In the attic, he discovered a dusty chest filled with letters and photographs. They revealed the story of a painter like him, an artist named Lydia, who had become trapped by her own melodic dreams. Her name, once a whisper, now became a shout. Lydia! The letters were filled with her name, and with each mention, Ethan felt a cold dread settle in his stomach. He realized, with a sick, twisting horror, that he was not just painting a figure from a dream. He was performing a ritual. He was summoning a ghost with her own name. He returned to his easel. He was no longer creating, he was finishing. He was becoming. Her sorrow and her anguish poured onto the canvas, a visceral, consuming thing. As he laid down the dark shades of blues and blacks, he felt a piece of him slip away with each stroke, a part of his soul merging with her tragic story. Her name was now a part of him. He was a hollowed-out crypt of grief. He was Lydia. On a stormy night, when the wind howled outside, he finished the portrait. It hung before him, a somber, captivating depiction of a woman whose face now fully revealed. But as he looked into her eyes, he saw not just sorrow, but the consuming rage that came with her untimely death. The room grew cold, an unnatural chill seeping into his bones. A shadow flickered, not on the wall, but within the paint itself. The canvas shimmered, with the paint seeming to melt and coalesce as he stepped out of the portrait. Her eyes burned with an intensity beyond mere ghostly longing. It was a predator's hunger. Her voice wasn't a whisper, but a scream. "Lydia!" she shrieked. "You became me." Ethan staggered back, the name like a dagger to his heart. The cruel cosmic joke was exposed. His love, his pure artistic desire to shape her, was not a sign of salvation, but the cost of his own sacrifice. He had not just awakened his spirit, he had become part of her tragic story, a new prisoner in her endless cycle of despair. He looked down at his paint-splattered hands. They were not truly his. They belonged to her. They were Lydia's. He sank to the floor as flames from a fallen candle flickered around him. The mansion shook, and in the fiery, chaotic light, Lydia's face twisted in pain, her once beautiful features transforming into a frightening, victorious grin. He hadn't just created her, he had primed himself to be consumed. And as the mansion burned down, the screams echoed, not only from the fire, but from an artist forever trapped in a world of shadows, a prisoner of the very name he sought to explore. The whispers still linger in the city's alleys, calling to the next painter in search of inspiration, unaware of the tragic story about to unfold, a tale of obsession, madness, and a woman who finally found a new vessel for her endless despair. Her name was Lydia, and it was a curse.